Hey everyone, a very good evening to all of you. I hope I'm clearly audible and visible to all of you. And if your answers are in yes, then do let me know as well. A very good evening, every one of you. Quickly, guys, just let me know how is the preparation going on. Okay, so let's begin today's session, which is going to cover the remaining questions of your February spotlight. But before beginning, let me just inform you that we have the crash course for RBI Grade B, and there you get your mentorship sessions as well, where you get your personalized weekly targets and also get your grievances resolved. So if you really want to enroll in any course and get through the exam of RBI Grade B, you can watch out for this course. This is a very good course in my opinion. Moving ahead, let's begin with the first question. Okay, so the first question is that the Ministry of Culture in October 2022 had launched Har Ghar Dhyan campaign in collaboration with Art of Living organization to spread awareness about mental health. The ministry roped in UGC and CBSE to participate in the campaign. Mental health is an emerging pandemic which needs to be dealt with at most sincerity. According to the National Mental Health Survey of 2015 to 16, there were dash Indians suffering from mental illness. So what is the right answer here? Option B is the right answer. A total of 150 million people were suffering from mental illnesses, and with the growing trend of nuclear families, individualism, isolated, or rather solitude, that we new generation prefer, the chances of depression, anxiety, and other kind of mental issues are very high. So guys, solitude is important, sitting alone is important for introspection, for knowing yourself, but at the same time you need to socialize with other people as well. We are social animals, so remember, always remember that it's the balance which works out. If you are sitting alone, if you are preferring solitude for preparing for RBI Grade B, do it. But also spend some time with your family and friends. Just take the mental stress out when you are hanging up with your friends and family, because this will help you in sustaining yourself and also clearing the exam. ठीक है, क्योंकि मेंटल हेल्थ अगर आपकी ठीक नहीं रहेगी ना, तो कुछ भी नहीं होगा, राइट? ना एग्जाम क्लियर कर पाओगे और ना ही लाइफ टाइम खुश रह पाओगे. So we have read in the question itself all the necessary points that needs to be remembered. First is 2022, in which the Har Ghar Dhyan campaign was launched. Art of Living and Ministry of Culture have collaborated. And do remember that this campaign was in the news in the month of February. That's why we are covering this October news. Nevertheless, you can expect the questions out of the government schemes and initiatives even prior to the 6 months that we usually recommend you for phase 1 general awareness. Okay, so what you can do, you can prepare the government portals, initiatives, and schemes is already an integral part, but portals and initiatives which have been launched in the last 1 year, at one place of one piece of paper, okay, write them down and try to memorize them. Okay, and by writing, I do not mean that you try to copy paste the PDF itself. We have already given you the PDF of government portals, so don't try to copy the PDF, just try to make your summarized notes. Even yesterday only I was reading that making notes on computer or writing with your hand, which is more effective in learning. And can you guess what came out? The result was that writing is much more efficient, because when you write, you have multiple organs or multiple parts of your brain active, and when those parts become active and you engage in this writing activity, it is more like a skill. Okay, when you are engaged with all parts of your brain, then there are high chances that you will retain it. So try to create your own fact cheat sheet. Moving ahead, the Har Ghar Dhyan campaign is going to end on the Independence Day of this year. UGC, CBSE have been roped in so that they can inculcate this Har Ghar Dhyan campaign's teachings in their curriculum and also spread awareness about the mental health among the children. 150 million we have already. UK will be the partner country for Telangana's biotech event named as BioAsia 2023. Shaping the next generation, advancing for one is the theme. What does N stand for in the full form of one? So, guys, next N stands for next generation. Okay, it is already there in the theme also. Shaping the next generation, advancing for one. So one is for One Health, next generation equity. Okay, One Health stands for the overall health of the planet, and that is environment, people, and animals. And in order to achieve this goal of One Health, Mission Life has already been launched. Although the major focus of the Mission Life is on sustainability, basically is on planet only and not completely on One Health, but I'm just telling you that Mission Life is already going on. And on the other hand, we have the One Health in our motto, okay, in the vision of the Indian government, that we want to adopt the One Health initiative as well. Okay. Next question is, India conducts Beating Retreat 2023 ceremony on January 29 to end its Republic Day. Indian Army, Navy, Air Force participate in the celebrations. Which country does the ceremony is taken from? So here, guys, UK is the right answer. Majority of our political and constitutional things we have taken, not constitution, but the structure of our government has been taken from the UK, the previous colonizer of the nation. So this ceremony has also been taken from there. A very easy question to answer. Next question is, which state ranked as the top buyer of MSME goods on the GEM portal, that is Government E-Marketplace portal, and those goods are worth of rupees 9,642 crores. So here, guys, Uttar Pradesh is the right answer. So Uttar Pradesh is the top buyer of MSME goods in 2022, and this data has been released by the Ministry of Defense. The Ministry of Defense was the top procuring Ministry of Goods and Services from the MSMEs. And if we talk about the state, then Uttar Pradesh is the top ranking state. Okay. Justice G. Rohini led commission for subcategorization of OBCs has now been given the 14th extension in its tenure by the president. Under which article was the commission created? So guys, article 340 is the right answer. Do remember this question. I have created this question many a times in Spotlight only. I can also not help this thing because G. Rohini commission has got extensions many times. We can clearly see it's the 14th extension that this commission is being given. Right, so clearly we can expect a question on the article which has created the G. Rohini commission. And also remember that the purpose of this commission is to subcategorize the OBCs. Okay. Now there must be a question in your mind that why does this commission get so many extensions? Is it not efficient enough? So guys, यहाँ पे efficiency से ज़्यादा data की problem है. The commission is not being able to collect the data on OBCs in India because OBCs are much more in India, and we are not able to get the data on the categories or the castes which come under the OBC. That's the major point. Okay, in 2017, the G. Rohini Commission was created under Article 340. Okay, so here we have 27% OBC quota, and once the subcategorization is done, then this quota will be divided into different categories on the basis of caste probably. Okay, so we will have to see what kind of subcategorization will come out once the committee submits its report. Now guys, we are talking about the reservations. So I just want to give you an additional information about the reservation so that you have a broader understanding of the reservation landscape or ecosystem in India. So first of all, SCs have a reservation percentage of 15%, STs has 7.5%, then 27% is for OBCs. Then the percentage has been given by the Department of Personnel Training under the Ministry of Personnel, Public Grievances and Pension. So this is very basic in nature that you need to know. The other thing that you should be aware of is that the SC and STs categorization is done by the central government, whereas the OBC list can be prepared by the center. Can be prepared by the center and the state. Okay, a very good example of this is the Maratha reservation. Okay, so the state was inclined to give the Maratha reservation, and the state was given this right to give the reservation because OBC list is prepared by the state as well. But SC and ST list is only prepared by the central government. Now here I want to ask you a question. Quickly tell me, Metis community belongs to which state? Recently it was in the news very much. So quickly tell me, Metis community belongs to which state? Okay, so guys, one more thing. There are two types of reservations, horizontal and vertical. Vertical, you can clearly see it is across the caste. Okay, so ST, SC, OBC and general, this is the vertical reservation where we are creating a new category altogether. But women, freedom fighters, or the regional quota, the physically handicapped people, these are the horizontal reservation which is given within one category. Now what does that mean? This means that, for example, if 27 seats are there according to the 27% reservation out of the 100 seats, then let's say the women constitute 3% of the 3% of the reservation. They have been given 3 seats. Let's assume that. Okay, so 3% out of the total seats. So this means that out of the 27 seats reserved for the OBC, 3 seats will be given to women only. So this is the meaning of horizontal reservation. Reservation within reservation. That's what horizontal reservation is. I hope you have understood it and you have liked this fact also. Yes, yes, the reservation riots in Manipur. So Metis community was given this. Okay, yes, Manipur is burning was in news because it was being given the uh, inclusion in the ST list. Okay, the state had requested the center to include the Metis community in the ST list, and because of that, Metis community and Kuki community, these are fighting. Next question is, which state has launched the Ladli Behna scheme to provide 1,000 per month to women from financially poor background in the state? So here Madhya Pradesh is the right answer. It's quite an easy scheme. 1,000 per month will be given to the women, and a sum of 60,000 crore will be spent on this scheme in the duration of 5 years. Which state has declared 2022 to 2023 as the year of enterprises? So here guys, Kerala is the right answer. Kerala has launched the enterprises campaign in the 2022 to 2023 budget. The campaign, the enterprises campaign, has a tagline, and the tagline is "My Enterprises, Nation's Pride." This year, the financial year of 23, FY23, has been given the title of Year of Enterprises, okay, by the Kerala government. And Ernakulam has become the first district in the state to register more than 10,000 new MSMEs. All these are the factual data, okay? So I hope you will be able to remember this data. One more thing, can any one of you tell me that year of AI? Which year is the year of AI by the government of Telangana? Can anyone tell me? Okay, so the next question is, recently the IMF has provided 4.7 billion loan to Bangladesh to tackle the macroeconomic issues. Of this, 3.3 billion is given under the extended credit facility of IMF. 1.4 billion is given under the resilience and sustainability facility for climate investments. When was this facility for climate investments created? So here guys, 2022 is the right answer. First of all, do pay attention to this fact that this is the first time since the facility's inception. So 2022 में ही तो ये facility बनी है, and after its inception, Bangladesh has got the first funding from this facility. Okay, so do remember the amount, $4.7 billion. and the purpose is to tackle the macroeconomic issues, the draining economy. In order to help the country to float its draining economy, the IMF has given this much amount of loan. Okay, 3.3 billion has been given as the extended credit facility, and 1.4 billion has been given as the resilience and sustainability fund. Okay, now what is this facility? This facility was launched in 2022 to provide loans to low income and vulnerable middle income countries for tackling the climate change and pandemic situations. Clear from its name itself that it is aimed at tackling the issues of sustainability that is related to environment. So climate change is the big threat to the environment, and resilience that is related to the economy. And we have recently faced a very big, huge crisis due to the pandemic. So in order to help out the low income and middle income countries tackle the climate change and the pandemic situations, this facility was created. Now, this facility was created under the Resilience and Sustainability Trust to provide the policy support and long-term financing to the members so that we can increase the resilience of the members and their sustainability. Okay. Now, why is it so much important? The reason being, you can be asked a question out of this in your phase 1 GA as well as in your ESI objective questions also. One marker you can expect out of this facility also, and that one marker can be in the form of statements. Okay, therefore you need to remember the basic purpose, the trust under which this has been created, and the purpose that it aims to serve, and the other things, the other facilities, for example, the support and the financing that it provides. How much is the projected inflation rate of India in 2024 by the IMF's World Economic Outlook 2023? So here guys, 4% is the right answer. Now pay attention to this thing, that inflation rate has been asked from you and not the GDP growth rate. Okay, there is a huge difference, and since this report mentions the GDP growth rate as well as the inflation rate, so there are high chances that you may get confused. Okay, so in order to prevent the confusion, pay attention to the rate which has been asked from you, and also for which year. So let's have a look at the GDP forecast first. World level पे 2023 basically has been projected at 2.9%, and 2024 has been projected as 3.1% world level पे. And India का we have 6.1% for 2023 and 6.8% for 2024. ठीक है? These are the inflation projections for India: 6.8% in 2022, 23 5%, and 2024 4%. Next question is, January 29 was observed as the World Leprosy Day on the theme of Act Now End Leprosy in 2023. When is the National Anti-Leprosy Day observed? So here guys, January 30 is the right answer. Now listen to me carefully guys. January 29 is the World Leprosy Day. Theme is Act Now End Leprosy. January 30 is India's Anti-Leprosy Day. And the theme is Let Us Fight Leprosy and Make Leprosy a History. Okay? Now January 30 is also observed as the Martyrs' Day in India, because on this day, unfortunately, we lost the father of our nation, Mahatma Gandhi. Okay, so on this day we celebrate the Martyrs' Day. Martyr is Shaheed. Okay, so this day is also known as Shaheed Divas, but we also have a separate Shaheed Divas, and that Shaheed Divas is celebrated on, not exactly celebrated, it's observed on March 23, on which day the Shaheed Bhagat Singh, Rajguru and Sukhdev were given the punishment, the capital punishment. Okay, so do remember these two Martyrs' Day which we celebrate in India only. Now we are talking about leprosy, so let me just tell you certain facts related to it so that you should be better prepared to tackle such questions in the exam. Prevalence rate of leprosy in India has been reduced from 0.69 per 10,000 population in FY15 to 0.45 in FY 2022. Annual case detection rate per 1 lakh population has come down from 9.73 to 5.52 in FY22. India had already achieved the elimination of leprosy. On papers, we had eliminated leprosy back in the year 2005, but unfortunately, even today, we have more than half of the leprosy burden of the world in our nation. Okay, so I'm talking about more than 50% of the world's cases of leprosy in India. So we had the national prevalence rate of 0.96 back in 2005, but since we have never seen the complete elimination of this disease, it remained here, and now we are seeing the increased cases. So we have a new target to eliminate leprosy, and that is 2027. Okay, quickly tell me, 2023 is the elimination target of which disease? Which disease is going to be eliminated in this year only? Now we have one more portal, that is Nikusht. Okay, leprosy in Hindi language is also called Kusht rog. Kusht. Okay, so Nikusht means elimination of this Kusht rog. Okay, so Nikusht 2.0 portal is there that aims to handle the leprosy cases under the National Leprosy Eradication Program. Now, how will a portal handle the cases? Basically, provide the information on the portal on the real-time basis. Okay, it will aid in efficient data recording, analyzing, and reporting of the data in the form of indicators and a real-time dashboard at center, state, and district levels. Okay, so just need to remember that Nikusht portal is specifically for the recording of the leprosy cases. Okay. Next question is, which company has created India's first ever one of its kind drone with parachute integrated system? So here Eminent Air is the right answer. Okay, so this is the parachute drone. Now drone तो अपने आप ही उड़ सकता है, फिर उसे parachute की क्या जरूरत है उड़ने के लिए? The reason behind equipping this drone with the parachute is to reduce its impact in case the drone fails. Okay, so hit impact कम हो, इसलिए drone के साथ parachute लगाया गया है. New India Assurance has launched its pay as you drive policy with features like discounts on renewals, coverage beyond distance limit, enhanced protections such as nil depreciation, roadside help, return to invoice, etc. The New India Assurance is a public sector insurance company who is the CMD of the New India Assurance. So Neerja Kapoor is the right answer. Now, guys, New India Assurance is a public sector insurance company. We have other insurance companies also which are owned by the government. So you can clearly see the list: Life Insurance Corporation, General Insurance Corporation, United India Insurance, the Oriental Insurance, National Insurance, Agriculture Insurance Company of India. Now, the reason behind only these three being marked in the red is that these are the loss-making general insurance companies in India. Now here there is a task for you. You need to tell me how much amount of capital was infused in these companies by the government to keep them afloat. Okay, in LIC, the government had already launched its IPO. So, but still, the LIC is currently more than completely, I would like rather say, majorly owned by the government. The next question is, according to RBI's data, there were 14.19 lakh micro ATMs across the country as of December 2022. Which of the following banks own the highest number of micro ATMs? So here, guys, Fino Payment Bank is the right answer. So this is a micro ATM, and according to the data, as of December 2022, 14.19 lakh micro ATMs were there across the country, and this is a very significant data. Okay, directly this number can be asked from you. Out of this, 3.55 lakh micro ATMs, which accounts for almost a quarter of all the ATMs, are owned by the Fino Payment Bank. That means it is the largest micro ATM operator in the nation. SBM Bank India owns the second highest micro ATMs, followed by NSDL Payments Bank. Next question is, on December 1st, 2022, RBI had launched the first pilot of the e-rupee retail segment in 8 banks. Which of the following banks has not been chosen in the first phase? So here guys, out of these banks, Canara Bank is the right answer. Okay, I have just highlighted the facts here so that it becomes very catchy for you to remember the facts. Okay, first of all, on 1st December 2022 only, RBI had launched the first pilot of the e-rupee retail segment in 8 banks. In the first phase, ICICI Bank, Yes Bank, IDFC First Bank, these were chosen to implement the e-rupee in Mumbai, New Delhi, Bangalore and Bhubaneswar. In the second phase, Bank of Baroda, Union Bank of India, HDFC Bank and Kotak Mahindra Bank were chosen to implement the e-rupee in Ahmedabad, Gangtok, Guwahati, Hyderabad, Indore, Kochi, Lucknow, Patna and Shimla. Okay, so these are the different cities. If you are not able to remember the names of the cities, at least remember the names of the banks. Okay, or I have prepared a one question on Kotak Mahindra Bank, in which city Kotak Mahindra Bank has launched the e-rupee facility in the retail segment. Okay, so clearly if I can make a question out of the cities, then obviously examiner can also make a question. So now it is on your risk whether you want to remember the cities or not. Okay, because cities are very limited in number, so they can ask you the cities in which the e-rupee was launched in the retail segment in the second phase of its launch. Okay, so I would recommend you all to remember the facts that are highlighted here. Now let's see what the RBI has done in e-rupee. Digital e-rupee were worth over rupees 130 crore in circulation as of February 28, and this is said by Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. So that means it's a very huge statement. Okay, so this statement is telling you the amount, the quantity of e-rupee in circulation in India. Now, as far as RBI is concerned, so RBI has launched the hackathon. We have already heard about it. Harbinger hackathon is there. So out of the 4 problem statements, there is one problem statement that focuses on the CBDC. Okay, so central bank digital currency is also one of the problem statements in the Harbinger. So RBI is really, I would say, serious about launching the currency digitally. Now, other innovations in e-rupee is, first is IDFC First Bank has partnered with ToneTag, which is basically a fintech which deals in the voice text solution for facilitating financial payment. Okay, so basically there is a kind of a device which conducts the financial transaction just by listening to the voice. Okay, once you come into the radar of this machine and you conduct the transaction, it undertakes the transaction on the basis of the sound. Okay, so this ToneTag and IDFC First have collaborated to launch the e-rupee segment. And second is the CC Avenue, okay, which is Infibeam Avenue's payment brand. It has become the first payment gateway player to accept the CBDC or process the digital rupee transaction for online retail merchants. What does it mean? It means that if you are using the CC Avenue's platform for making the payment, you can make the payment in e-rupee as well. If you have the e-rupee, obviously you won't have the e-rupee because e-rupee has not been promulgated by RBI as of now. It is not in distribution. It is just on the pilot basis in certain cities. But once we have the e-rupee in our hands, then we will be able to make the payments if we are using the CC Avenues platform, payment gateway. Okay. Who has been appointed as the India country head of Morgan Stanley? So here guys, Arun Kohli is the right answer, and he is the global CEO of Morgan Stanley. That is James P. Okay, so James P. Gorman is the name of this person who is the global CEO. Now, where is the headquarters of Morgan Stanley? It is in New York. Now guys, Morgan Stanley often gives GDP forecast for India and the world. This you must have been aware of. But recently, Morgan Stanley, in the month of May itself, has made a very shocking announcement, or a very shocking news was there related to Morgan Stanley, which I am going to discuss with you. First, let us look at the GDP forecast, which it has done for India. So 6.2% GDP for the 2023 to 2024 year. Okay? It has been projected, and it's the latest updated GDP growth rate. Economic survey for FY23 projects that India is going to grow between 6 to 6.8% in FY24, and majority of the forecasting agencies are forecasting the rate between 6 to 7% only. Okay, India will contribute 16% to global GDP growth over 2023 to 2024, and this was the statement I was talking about. So here, अगर आपको कुछ इसमें शॉकिंग लग रहा है तो यू गाइस कैन टेल मी व्हाट इज शॉकिंग इन दिस स्टेटमेंट. आई एम गोइंग टू टेक अ पॉज हियर बिकॉज दिस थिंग नीड्स डिस्कशन. And one more thing, if you are guessing something strange in this statement, then obviously I would think that your mind is curious enough to know thing instead of just mugging up the things. Obviously I have highlighted it here, so I guess you guys have guessed it. It's the 16% global GDP growth over 2022 to 2023. So are we capable, or have we become so capable that we are going to contribute 16% of the global GDP? So pay attention to this fact, guys. It is not talking about the global GDP, it's talking about the growth. So let's assume, I'm going to take an example to make you understand this thing. Let's assume we are talking about two countries here, okay? India and Egypt. Okay, for example, India produces 1,000 worth of goods and Egypt produces 500 worth of goods. India's growth rate is 5%. Okay, so how much would be the 5%? It would be 50. Okay? So total production would be 1050. What here we have guessed, we have assumed that there are only two countries in the world, and we are trying to understand this state. Now let's suppose the GDP growth rate of Egypt is 10%. So how much would be the 10% of 500? It would be, okay, let's just calculate. It would also be 50. Okay, so let's not take it 10% because otherwise it would be same. Okay, and then we will not be able to clear the question, understand the question. Let's take the Egypt's growth rate as 2%. Okay, so here we have 10. The total production is 10. Now how much is the total production here? Total production would be 1560. So this is the world production, right? Now in this world production, we are going to see how much contribution has been made by India, how much contribution has been made by Egypt. And now let's assume that the contribution, this contribution is 16% if we look into the total production. Okay, so this is how we are saying that if we are comparing the growth rates of all the countries on a pie chart, then India is holding 16% share on the pie chart. Okay, I hope guys this is clear, this is not getting complicated for you. No, here is the mistake, Sachin Savarkar. 16% is not the GDP production growth rate. GDP is what? Is our production. So are you trying to say that India is going to produce that much that we will be able to contribute 16% of the global production? No, it is not going to happen. We are not contributing 16% in the global production. It is just that the growth rate. We are talking about the growth. So growth is relative. Okay, so we have taken all the countries on this pie chart, and in this pie chart India holds 16% share, whereas the growth rate of the GDP is 6.2% as per the Morgan Stanley only. I hope this distinction is clear to you. Do tell me whether it is clear or not. Okay, I hope it is clear. So let's move ahead. Who won the Lifetime Achievement Award at the India UK Achievers Honours? So here Manmohan Singh, the former Prime Minister of India, has won this award, and that is why this award is very important. So this has been given to a total of 75 Indian achievers. Important awardees are the former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, and the Living Legend Award is also there, which has been given to Kiran Billimora, the British Indian businessman and life. Which brand has appointed Harmanpreet Kaur, the captain of Indian women's cricket team, as its brand ambassador? Puma, guys, is the right answer. Now there is one more news related to Harmanpreet Kaur in the month of February only, and that news is that she has overtaken Rohit Sharma and become the most capped player in the T20 international. Now, what does that mean? Most capped or capped player means the person who has appeared in the international matches. Okay, so apparently Harmanpreet Kaur has played more international T20 matches than Rohit Sharma, who is the current captain of India men cricket team in all formats. Okay, so it's captain versus captain, and it's the women's captain who has won. Next question is, who chairs the advisory committee of Sri Infrastructure Finance Limited? So V Ramachandra is the right answer. So he's the former chief general manager of Canara Bank. He has been appointed by RBI as the chief of this advisory committee. Okay, and other members are Venkat Nageshwar Chalasani and TT. Okay, TT. The surname is quite long. Okay. The next question is, what is the value of digital payment index September 2022? 377.46 is the value. Okay, let's look at the index. So we know that a total of 5 parameters are used. First is payment enablers, which has a weightage of 25%. Payment infrastructure from the demand side factors, 10%. Payment infrastructure supplied side factors, 15%. Payment performance, 45%. Consumer centricity, 5%. So these are different weightages given to different parameters, and I don't think that there is any need for me to tell you how important this index and its parameters are. So clearly you are going to cover all of them, and I hope you have remembered these percentages as well. Okay. Now, I hope you know that the index is released twice in a year, in March and in September. So let's have a look at the history of this index. So March 2018 is taken as the base, and from then onwards we have different figures. Now I hope you must be having a question whether you need to remember all these figures. So guys, to be on a safer side, I would recommend you to please remember these digits, these values for every digital payment index. कुछ भी पूछ सकते हैं आरबीआई में, बिकॉज ये आरबीआई का ही पेपर है, तो आरबीआई ही जो चीज निकाल रहा है उसके बारे में नहीं पूछेगा आपसे तो क्या पूछेगा. ओके, सो कुछ भी पूछा जा सकता है, तो सारी ही फिगर्स को आपको याद रखना है अलोंग साइड देयर ईयर्स और देयर एडिशंस. ठीक है. Now, one more thing, that the Ministry of Electronics and IT had organized the Digital Payment Utsav. The basic idea of this Utsav was to create awareness among the people about the digital finances or digital payment infrastructure. Okay? Now, what is the use or what's the purpose? The purpose is to increase the users of digital payments. Okay? So, this Utsav was organized at the India Habitat Center in Delhi. It will be held from 9th February to 9th October 2023. So it may happen that you will see any of the news related to the digital payment utsav. So then you should not get confused. Okay. Focus of the campaign will be on increasing the digital payments, and the focus will be on specific cities. First is Lucknow, Pune, Hyderabad, and Bangalore. So these cities are going to be the main focus, but more cities will be covered. Okay. And this Utsav has been launched as part of the G20 Digital Economy Working Group event. Now guys, these are some of the launches that were made during the Digital Payment Utsav of Ministry of Electronics and IT in Delhi. Mission Bhashini. So Mission Bhashini, basically the National Language Translation Mission, has basically made the UPI 123 Pay available in local languages. Okay? So that it becomes easier for the non-English users to use this application. DigiDhan Awards were presented to 28 top performing banks, bankers, fintech companies in different categories. Not very important, but do remember these awards were given by the Ministry of Electronics and IT during the digital payment Utsav. Digital payment Sandesh Yatra. So it is going to be a tour of the country, similar to what Rahul Gandhi did. So to educate citizens about digital payments and its security. G20 themed QR code will also be launched, and it has been launched by 197 Communications Limited, the owner of Paytm. The founder of Paytm, Vijay Shekhar Sharma, is the chairperson of the Finance Task Force under the Startup 20 of G20. So do remember this fact as well. I hope guys you are not getting bored. Chaliye, so let's move ahead. Sagar, before moving ahead, let me tell you just 60 questions are there, which we are going to deal in detail. So don't worry, it will end shortly. The session will end shortly. Sagar Samrat is an offshore drilling rig facility located in Arabian Sea. Recently, it has been converted as a mobile offshore production facility, which will handle 20,000 barrels per day of crude oil and is expected to add 6,000 barrels per day to India's production. Which company does the facility belong to? So it belongs to ONGC. So here nothing much of importance is there. Just remember Sagar Samrat ONGC. Chairman of ONGC is Arun Kumar Singh. Gandhi Sagar Floating Festival, Asia's first floating festival. Where was it organized? Mandsaur में organize किया गया था, ठीक है? Which is in Madhya Pradesh. Where did PVR Cinemas launch India's first multiplex in an airport complex? So it has been launched in Chennai. Which state's Commission for Protection of Child Rights launched Bal Mitra, which is actually a WhatsApp chatbot? So here Delhi is the right answer. Okay. So it aims to provide communication support to the children and their parents. So this Delhi Commission for Protection of Child Rights is a statutory body under the Commission for Protection of Child Rights Act 2005. Okay, so do remember the act as well, which was enacted in 2005. General Atomics, a major American energy and defense corporation, has started 3 significant projects in Delhi in the field of artificial intelligence, drones, and semiconductors. Which company has collaborated with General Atomics for next generation of technologies in artificial intelligence? So here 11.4 AI is the right answer. So basically 3 companies are there. First is Bharat Forge and General Atomics. They have partnered for aerostructure manufacturing. Second is 11.4 AI that has partnered for the artificial intelligence. And third is Third Eye Tech, which has partnered in the field of semiconductors. Which has become the first merchant to accept the RBS blockchain-based CBDC in store? So here Reliance Retail is the right answer. Again, CBDC is there in the news. Okay, if you get a descriptive question on CBDC in your phase 2, then you should be prepared for that as well. Okay, so prepare an answer on the advantages and disadvantages of CBDC. Okay. The news is that Reliance Retail has become the first merchant to accept the CBDC in store at its food store, which is named as Fresh Pick. Okay? And in order to accept the digital rupee, RBI has partnered with ICICI, Kotak Mahindra, and Innovative Technologies. Recently, Manuela Roca Bote has been appointed as the first PM of first female PM of Equatorial Guinea. What is the capital of the country? So here Malabo is the right answer. She is the first female PM. Malabo is the current capital. Ciudad de la Paz is the capital under construction. Okay, so right now it has not been announced as the capital. Malabo is still the capital of Equatorial Guinea. The currency is Central African CFA franc and it is a republic. So there are 2 forms of governments. The nation, the type of the governance are 2: republic and democracy. Okay. So this is a republic where the head of the state is chosen by the government. By the people. Okay, so here we have four types of guineas. First, let's have a look at the equatorial guinea. So here, this small nation is the equatorial guinea and it is in the Atlantic Ocean. Okay? Do remember this fact. One more thing, that we have the four type of nations which are named as Guinea nations. First is Papua New Guinea, then we have the Equatorial Guinea, then we have the Guinea nation, and we have the Guinea-Bissau. Okay, and here we the independence of these nations have been given. Okay, so you can read it on your own. This portion is not that significant for you to remember. It's just for your general awareness. What is the theme of World Wetlands Day 2023? So revive and restore degraded wetlands. Okay, so 2nd February is the date on which this day is celebrated. It's time for wetland restoration. Okay, so this is also the theme, and revive and restore degraded wetlands is also the theme. It is just one theme that is focusing on the wetland restoration. Okay, it's just a way of putting it out. Okay, on this picture we are seeing that it is the time for wetland restoration, and in this question we are seeing revive and restore degraded wetlands. The meaning is same, guys, that is wetland restoration, but it's just that UN has put the theme in this manner, and the other websites and other organizations are putting the theme in this manner. Okay, you just need to remember the wetland restoration as far as the theme of this day is concerned. Question number 28. The Revolutionaries, the other story of how India won its freedom book, has won the Kaling Literary Prizes, Kaling Literary Festival Non-Fiction Book Award 2022 in English. Who has written this book? Sanjeev Sanyal is the right answer. Here, guys, we have been given the different winners in different categories. Okay. Who is the author of The Last Heroes book? So here, P. Sainath is the right answer. This question, guys, I have already told you. So Mumbai, Ahmedabad, Delhi is the right answer. So option E is the right answer. And here I have written Center for Cellular and Molecular Platforms has launched National Diagnostics Catapult, which is basically a platform. Okay. So I'll tell you what is the platform's purpose, but let's first see when was the first edition of this platform launched. So it was launched in 2020, July 2020, the year of COVID. Okay. This time the COVID was very severe. Okay, so what has happened? That Center for Cellular Molecular Platforms has launched the National Diagnostics Catapult. This is basically a platform that aims to strengthen the diagnostic capacities in India, okay, so that we can diagnose the disease immediately before it turns into an epidemic. Okay? So it aims to boost the India's preparedness for current and future pandemics and scale up diagnostic space for infectious diseases, including but not limited to COVID-19. Okay? Now, this program is supported by the Bangalore Life Sciences Cluster and Rockefeller Foundation, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and FIND, a global alliance for diagnostics. 2022 is the year in which this first platform was launched. Now it's the 2.0 version of this platform that has been launched. Recently, the Department of Agriculture has partnered with the Development Innovation Lab to explore the opportunities to improve food security, address climate change, and allow farmers to increase their incomes. The Development Innovation Lab was founded by Nobel laureate Dr. Michael Kremer, University professor in economics at Dash. So University of Chicago is the right answer. Okay. We have read the entire news in the question itself. Ministry of Agriculture has partnered with the Development Innovation Lab. So these are the two parties. Then the purpose is to innovate in the agriculture sector so that they can ensure food security and also address the challenge of climate change. Then it was founded by Michael Kremer, the University Professor of Economics at the University of Chicago. Okay? That much is enough. Also remember that he was the Nobel laureate in 2019. Union Minister Amit Shah lay foundation stone for India's fifth nano urea plant. Where will the plant be set up? So Diogar is the right answer. Recently, nano DAP plant has also been launched. Can any one of you tell me where is the nano DAP part of IFCO located? Okay, moving ahead. So this fifth plant will be developed at a cost of 450 crores. Where are the other plants located? First is Kalol, Gujarat, uh, Anula, Bareilly, Phulpur, Prayagraj, Bangalore, Karnataka. These are the five plants, and you can clearly see that all these plants are under construction. Okay, they have not started production as of now. Now we are talking about urea. I have told you this thing many times that urea, then the DAP, then urea and DAP are the most used fertilizers in India. Apart from them, we use MOP and NPKs fertilizers as well. Okay, urea also contains a lot of nitrogen. Okay, and DAP is diammonium phosphate. So these are the two most important, mostly used fertilizers, and therefore their import is high. And in order to substitute their import, the nano urea and nano DAP are being developed by IFCO. Now country's urea production is 260 lakh tons. It's the conventional urea. Okay, it's not the nano urea. It's the conventional urea. Okay, and 90 lakh tons are imported to meet the local demand. By 2025, 60 lakh ton of production capacity will be added to the conventional urea. Okay, so basically the granule form urea. So we will increase the capacity of that, and the nano urea capacity will be increased to 44 crore bottles as compared to the 5 crore bottles that we produce now. Okay, so 44 crore bottles of 500 ml each per annum, which will be equivalent to 200 lakh tons of conventional urea. Okay, this is very important, guys. Do remember this entire thing, because India aims to eliminate urea imports by 2025. Which company has launched Vihangam, a web-based portal along with a drone and ground control system for introducing drone technology in coal mines? So Mahanadi Coalfields is the right answer, which is basically a subsidy of Coal India Limited. It is one of the 8 subsidies of Coal India Limited. Om Prakash Singh is the CMD. Which state has launched a helicopter service for high net worth individual and luxury tourist? Goa is the right answer. Ministry of Housing and Engineers India Limited have signed an MOU to develop waste to energy and biomethanation projects in cities with a population of million plus. The initiative will result in an additional processing capacity of dash tons per day for biomethanation and dash for waste to energy respectively. So here guys, 15,000 per day for biomethanation and 10,000 per day for waste to energy. Okay. So what has happened basically? Ministry of Housing and Engineer India Limited have signed an MOU to focus on the 59 million plus cities. Okay, there are 59 cities which have a population of a million plus. Okay, so they are basically in 59 cities. They are going to develop waste to energy and biomethanation projects which will have this much of capacity, to increase the capacity to that much. And this is the process of biomethanation. From the animal waste or agricultural waste, the waste is collected and it is mixed with water. Then the anaerobic fermentation is done so that we can separate the liquid fertilizer, soil conditioner, plus the nutrients, nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium, and that nutrient is again put into the soil as fertilizer. So this is the process of biomethanation. From the waste we generate so much, and also we generate the fuel for cooking, we generate the fuel for lighting as well. Okay, so this is how the process of biomethanation takes place. I hope that much is clear to you guys. and the session is not going too fast. Yes, United States of India is absolutely right. Urea and DAP are the most subsidized fertilizers, and obviously their usage is high, so subsidies तो देनी ही पड़ेगी. Urea is separate, DAP is separate, so there is a separate DAP plant which IFCO is planning to establish in Gujarat. 8th meeting of the US-India Civil Space Joint Working Group meeting was held in US to discuss collaboration in Earth and space sciences as well as global navigation satellite systems, space flight safety, space situational awareness, and policies for commercial space activities. When was the group created to expand cooperation in the civil space program? So it was created in 2005. Okay? Now India and US are also collaborating for a very important mission. And which mission I'm talking about? I'm talking about NISAR. So in the next year, NISAR is going to be launched. Okay, NISAR is NASA India Synthetic Aperture Radar. It has two radars, L band and S band, and the basic purpose of this particular mission is to collect the Earth's images, which are very high in precision, which are very accurate, and all weather photo can be taken. Okay, so in all weathers, the images can be captured by these two radars. Which company has received RBI's approval to increase its stake to 26% in IndusInd Bank? Hinduja Group is the right answer. Okay. So at present, Hinduja owns 16.51% of the stake, and it will increase its stake to 26%. According to RBI's acquisition and holding of shares or voting rights in banking companies directions 2023, do cover the directions. These have been covered in RBI 247 in quite detail for your phase 2. Okay? For phase 1, whatever is required is in front of you. So in January, these directions came out, and according to these directions, promoters can hold 26% of the paid up share capital. So they cannot increase the percentage beyond that. Okay. So after the completion of 15 years from the commencement of the business of the banking company. Railtel Corporation has received an order from SBI for providing 4G LT connectivity to its 15,000 offsite ATMs across India. Railtel is a mini Ratna category 1 CPSU. It provides information and communication services, and it is one of the largest neutral telecom infrastructure providers in the country, owning a pan-India optic fiber network. Who is the CMD of Railtel? So here Sanjay Kumar is the right answer. Now it is a Mini Ratna category 1 company. We have Mini Ratna category 2 company as well. Matlab category 2 is also there as far as Mini Ratna category is concerned. Then we have Maharatna and Navratna. Okay. Maharatna and Navratna statuses are given by the Department of Public Enterprises, which is under the Ministry of Finance at present. Okay. But the Mini Ratna status can be given by the respective ministry only. For example, this particular company operates under the Ministry of Railways. So the Ministry of Railways has all rights to give the Mini Ratna status to the Railtel Corporation. Okay? And it must be the Ministry of Railways only which has granted the category 1 Mini Ratna status to the Railtel Corporation. Now guys, here my advice is to do cover the Mini Ratna, Navratna and Maharatna eligibility criteria. Okay? Who is the author of Fantastic Beast, The Secret of Dumbledore book? J.K. Rowling is the right answer. So basically, Golden Book Awards were given, which are the Asia's most prestigious library awards, sponsored by Wing Public International, a public publishing house in India only. So the awards were announced, and these are the winners. Okay. So Gaur Gopal Das is also there in the list. Energizing your mind, amongst guides to mindful living. Deepak Chopra is there, the seven spiritual laws of success. Kamlesh Patel is there, the wisdom bridge. All these books appear to be very enticing to me. I think I'm gonna read all these soon. Okay, the list has more books. Jeff Kinney, Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Ashneer Grover is also there. Okay. Doglapan, the hard truth about life and startups. Amazing. That this is how you cash in on your negatives as well. Ruskin Bond, how to live your life. Raj Shamani, build, don't talk. Things you wish you were taught in school. Out of all the books mentioned, I really liked Ashneer Grover's title, Doglapan. What is the theme of strategic tabletop exercise of G20? So here guys, synergy to counter global cyber crisis is the theme. So two exercises were conducted simultaneously. First is the strategic tabletop exercise, another one is an operational drill. So the theme of this strategic exercise is synergy to counter global cyber crisis. The operational drills theme is building collective cyber resilience. Both of these exercises were conducted by the CERTIN, which is India's Computer Emergency Response Team. Now, this operates under the Ministry of Electronics and IT, and it was created in 2004 as a nodal agency for countering any kind of cyber attack on the Indian nation, on India basically. Okay, so it is the nodal agency for tackling every kind of cyber security threat and cyber attack. इसका नाम ही है इंडिया कंप्यूटर इमरजेंसी रिस्पांस टीम. Okay, so it is everything is written here. So in the Information Technology Amendment Act of 2008, CERTIN has been designated to serve as the national agency to perform the functions in the area of cyber security. Okay, so government has approved phase 2 of FAME India with an outlay of 10,000 crore for a period of 3 years commencing from 2019. Out of the total budgetary support, 86% of the fund has been allocated for demand incentive, so to create the demand for EVs in the country. According to Ministry of Heavy Industries and Public Enterprises data, the top 5 states in India collectively account for 56% of 0.85 million electric vehicles bought through the scheme. Choose the correct order of states in the increasing order of their sales. Quite a difficult question, I guess, but nevertheless, most of you must have done the question in the exam also. हाँ, मीम से ऑथर बिल्कुल सही. Okay, so here guys, the answer is option D. Maharashtra, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, Rajasthan. So this is how the order goes on. Okay. You can clearly see the order here. Maharashtra, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, Rajasthan, then Uttar Pradesh, Kerala. A fund of 7,980 crore has been committed to 99 alternative investment funds under the Fund of Funds scheme for startups as on December 31st, 2022. The Fund of Funds for Startup scheme was approved and established in Dash with a corpus of Dash with contribution spread over 14th and 15th Finance Commission cycle based on the progress of implementation to provide capital to Indian startups. Dash has been given the responsibility of choosing the AIFs and overseeing the disbursal of committed capital. So here guys, option C is the right answer. 2016 is the year of launch. 10,000 crore is the total budget and SIDBI has been given the responsibility. Now what is the scheme all about? Just let me give you a brief. So in the Fund of Funds scheme, basically the amount is given to the alternative investment funds. These alternative investment funds will invest in the startups. This is the basic structure of the scheme. Okay. Now, why is the fund not directly investing in the startups? Because before investing, there are a lot of things that need to be taken care of. For example, if the startup is डूइंग गुड और मेकिंग प्रॉफिट और नॉट, इक्विटी डेट कितना है, ये सब शार्क टैंक देख के आप लोगों को पता लग ही गया होगा कि क्या क्या देखना होता है। तो वो सब problems में ना पड़ने के लिए the government decided to choose the AIFs. Okay, and these AIFs will then choose the startups and then will invest the government's fund into those startups equity. Now for this purpose, for this particular scheme, these AIFs are also called the daughter funds. ठीक है, so do remember, alternative investment funds are also called the daughter funds. Quickly tell me how many categories of AIFs are allowed in India. How many AIFs operate? Yes, and out of these three, which fund is given the most relaxation by the government? Which category is given the most relaxation? In the meantime, let's discuss the state-wise distribution of startups as well. ठीक है, under the fund of funds scheme as of 31st December 2022. So Karnataka 240 startups, okay, and amount to be invested is 4,000. So out of the total 10,000 crore rupee budget, approximately or more than 4,000 crore rupees is being invested in Karnataka. Okay, so in this manner, if you try to remember this, it will help. Then the second state is Maharashtra, 3,000 crore. So Karnataka and Maharashtra collectively have taken 7,000 crore, approximately 70% or more than 70% of the funds of this scheme has been invested in only two states, Karnataka and Maharashtra. Then we have Delhi, 2,000 crore, then Haryana, then Tamil Nadu. Okay, so these are their respective shares, and obviously you need to remember this data. ठीक है, इतना तो एटलीस्ट पता होना चाहिए कि किस स्टेट में सबसे ज्यादा इन्वेस्टमेंट हुई है आउट ऑफ दिस फंड एंड द अमाउंट इन अप्रोक्सीमेशन इज रिक्वायर्ड. ठीक है, इवन इफ यू फॉरगेट द एंटायर डिजिट, प्लीज अप्रोक्सीमेट तो याद ही रखना. Which state has announced to establish the green hydrogen hub at a cost of 200 crore rupees? So here Kerala again is in the news. So green hydrogen hubs will be established in collaboration with the India Hydrogen Alliance, which is basically an Indian alliance based in Delhi. Bihar State Tourism has built MV Ganga Vihar, a floating restaurant at NIT Ghat on the Ganges, where was India's first floating restaurant established. So it was in Sarhind, but right now this floating restaurant is in shambles. Okay, nobody is able to visit there because now it has been dismantled. Yaya So, okay, so it is a first biodiversity heritage site of Ladakh under the Biological Diversity Act of 2002. Since we are running short on time, I'm just cutting it short. So long story short is that under which section of the Biological Diversity Act 2002 does the state government gives the status of biodiversity importance to the particular site. Okay, so biodiversity heritage site status is given under which section of the Biological Diversity Act? Section 37 is the right answer. Which state's police is operating Operation ARG to arrest the fugitives? So here again Kerala is the right answer. Former US Secretary of State Hillary Clinton announced a global climate resilience fund for women to fight climate change. The fund will empower the women and communities to fight the climate change. What is the total corpus of this fund? So here guys, 50 million is the right answer. How many moons does Jupiter have? So 92 moons are there for Jupiter. That makes this planet with having the largest number of moons in the solar system. Second planet to have the highest number of moons is Saturn. 82 planets. Sorry, 82 moons are there. Okay. Now, guys, this is the picture showing you the largest moon of Jupiter. Okay, which is Ganymede. So, largest moon is Ganymede, then Callisto, Europa, Io, and these are the different moons according to the sizes. Okay. Now, if you have read about Ganymede or Europa, then you must be aware about the recent development that NASA has made. According to NASA, these moons have water reservoirs. Okay, and this was the study done by NASA. Ganymede is the only moon in the entire solar system that has its own magnetic field. Okay, so that is also important. Now, guys, Jupiter Icy Moons Explorer, that is JUICE. Okay. So this JUICE is a mission of the European Space Agency, which has been launched to Jupiter in April 2023 only. ठीक है, तो बहुत ही recent news है. It is very important, very relevant. Now the next thing is that it will arrive in 2031 in the orbit of Jupiter. Yeah. And it is an orbiter. It is launched for studying the Jupiter system. Now ESA, European Space Agency, is the nodal agency of this JUICE mission, and it has partnered with NASA for this particular mission. Okay, and it is going to collect the data on Jupiter and its three moons. Okay, so Ganymede, Callisto, and Europa, these three are the moons which are the main targets of this JUICE mission. Which has joined ISA as its 113th country. So, guys, it is Republic of Congo, but by now we have 114 signatories in ISA. More about Congo. So, Brazzaville is the capital. Central African franc is the currency. Official language is French. Majority of its population is Christian. It gained its independence from France in 1960. Although we say that India got independence in 1947 only, but did you know that the last independence that we got was in 1961 only? Okay, and that is the independence from Portuguese when Goa became free. Prior to this, in 1954 to 56, French gave independence to India. Although in the larger narrative, we have been given the independence from Britishers in 1947, and we assumed that India became free in 1947, but it is not so. We got independence from other nations in different years. Okay, so I hope that you have liked this fact. One more thing, that the Republic of Congo's neighborhood is also important. So, dhyan rakhna. Which IIT will be provided with a grant of 242 crore over a period of 5 years to undertake research on lab-grown diamonds? IIT Madras. So this might appear as a very light question, not a very significant question, but ये बहुत important question है. Why? Because India has an ambition to increase its share in the lab-grown diamonds. Okay, India aims to become the largest market for the lab-grown diamonds in the future. The government has already approved 100% FDI in the lab-grown diamond sector through automatic route. In the FY20 budget, the GST on these lab-grown diamonds was also reduced from 18 to 5% just. In 2019, the government declared the year of 2019 as the year for lab-grown diamonds. And this is again very important. All these statements are very, very important. India alone witnessed a rise in the diamond exports, which were worth $443 million. Okay, not very significant fact because this number would have changed by now. But this is very important that India contributes 15% in the global production of lab-grown diamonds. Okay, very important percentage. And do you know which city is known as the diamond city in India or the diamond capital of India? Now, quickly tell me. Sikkim did not become independent at that point of time. It may I don't remember the exact year, but it might be that Sikkim amalgamated or accepted the instrument of accession to become a part of India. Okay, independence to it got from Britain only. Yes, of course, Surat. Absolutely right, guys. So Surat is the diamond city of India. Did you guys know that 9 out of the 10 diamonds that are lab grown and natural diamonds also are cut in this city only? 9 out of 10 in the world. Okay, so it's more than 90%. 9 out of 10 in the world are polished in Surat. Currently, 25 to 30% of the units established in Surat are servicing the lab grown diamonds. Not that important statement. This statement is very important. Antwerp, which is a city in Belgium, it is the global center for trade in cut diamonds. Cut diamond ties in the final diamond, the polished and the cut diamond. And Surat is the world's diamond cutting capital. Okay, so सबसे ज़्यादा trade एंटवर्प में हो रहा है बेल्जियम में एंड सबसे ज्यादा कटिंग सूरत में की जा रही है. ठीक है, सो सूरत इज द आई वुड से द लार्जेस्ट मार्केट फॉर द क्रूड डायमंड. ओके, बिकॉज हियर वी गेट द रफ डायमंड्स, वी ट्रेड देम और वी ऑल्सो कट देम. ओके, सो आई होप दिस फैक्ट इज important and you have enjoyed this fact also. And do remember, Antwerp is the world's global center. Or if you search the globe, the diamond capital of the world, then also you will find Antwerp in the first position. Okay. Next question is, Supreme Court of India hosted the 73rd year of its independence. Sorry, anniversary of its establishment. There is a lot of slip of tongue today, so I will try to minimize it. Article 124 of the Indian Constitution establishes the Supreme Court. Supreme Court of India came into existence on 26th January 1950 and is located in New Delhi. This year's event was aired on social media platforms and saw Dash Chief Justice Sundaresh Menon, who is of Indian origin, as its chief guest. So here Singapore is the right answer. Who is the chairman of Hajj Committee of India? So AP Abdullah Kutti is the right answer. Hajj Committee of India is basically a statutory body and it organizes the Islamic pilgrimages to Makkah and Medina. Which ministry has set up the committee on digital competition law to examine the need for a separate law on the competition in digital markets, which I think that has become a need of the hour. Ministry of Corporate Affairs is the right answer. Now guys, as far as the competition is concerned, so I hope you are reminding of Competition Commission of India. It is a statutory body which has been established through the Competition Act of 2002. Okay, but it was established in 2003. Okay. Can anyone tell me that under which ministry does the Competition Commission of India operates? Or basically, in other words, under which ministry's administrative aegis is the CCI fallen? Yes, you will be provided with the PDF on Telegram channel. So guys, this operates under the Ministry of Corporate Affairs because it basically gives its ruling on the companies. Not exactly ruling, but it assesses the company's practices. So it is under the Corporate Affairs Ministry. So chair of project in Tumakuru, which is in Karnataka near Bangalore. Okay, so it is the first industrial corridor in the South India. How many industrial corridors are we developing in actuality? So let's have a look at the corridors which India is developing. So India is developing three kinds of corridors. First is defense industrial, second is industrial corridors, and third is freight corridors. So Uttar Pradesh and Tamil Nadu, in these two states only, we are developing the defense industrial corridors at present. Ministry of Defense is developing these corridors. Industrial corridors, total 11, and these projects are being taken up for development with 32 projects to be developed in 4 phases up to FY25. Ministry of Commerce and Industry is developing the industrial corridors. Then freight corridors. So Dedicated Freight Corridor Corporation of India Limited under the Ministry of Railways is creating the freight corridors. A total of 6 corridors will be developed. Okay, so the Minister of Fisheries has informed the Lok Sabha that India is the highest milk producer in the world with 24% global milk production in FY22. Milk production of India has registered a dash percent growth during FY15 to 22 and increased to 22 crore tons in FY22 from 14.6 crore tons in FY15. On the other hand, egg production has also increased from 78.48 billion to 129.53 billion at a growth rate of 8%. So here guys, 51% is the growth rate that milk production has observed. Okay? With which company has Ministry of Agriculture signed an MOU to build a national level digital extension platform under the public-private partnership framework. So here, digital green is the right answer. How much is the per capita GDP income of Bangladesh for FY22 to 23? So here guys, 2,793 US dollars is the right answer. So Bangladesh is going to record a 7.10% GDP growth rate. And if India grows at 6.2% as the Morgan Stanley has projected, then Bangladesh is going to have a higher GDP growth rate than India. The per capita GDP income of Bangladesh is this. In 2021, the per capita GDP of India stood at this. Okay? So clearly there is a difference of 500 here in these two digits. Okay, so Bangladesh is improving on its per capita GDP. That means that they are able to increase their GDP with a limited set of population or a limited population only. On the other hand, we have a larger population, okay, and the growth of GDP is also happening, but the increase in the population and increase in the GDP are not coherent. Okay, so that means the population is not that much contributing in the GDP, and that is why the per capita GDP of India is reducing, or not reducing, but is less in comparison to Bangladesh. Okay, so that is something that I hope you have understood. Last question is that Tuhin Kant Pandey is the secretary of which of the following department? So this is basically the question. ऊपर आपको बस एक कहानी दी गई है. I hope you have read it on your own. So Deepak Dice is the right answer, which is in charge of divesting the government's properties. Okay? So here guys, we have finished the session. Now I hope if you have any doubts or anything, you can ask me, and you can also tell me how much did you like the session. If you guys have any doubt, you can ask me, right? The government was already planning and working on reducing the number of 2000 rupee note, because जितना बड़ा denomination का note होगा उतना ज़्यादा black money को cash में रखना easy होगा. That's why. चलिए on that note, क्या आप मुझे बता सकते हैं कि गवर्नमेंट की प्रिंटिंग फैसिलिटीज कहाँ कहाँ पर लोकेटेड है? Even if you are not able to tell it here, do search it out. Okay. Thank you so much, guys, if you have liked it. Yes, very good. I provide the details as much as it is necessary, since you also need to understand that the number of questions in this session was less. That's why I was able to cover every question in detail. Okay, but when I have a lot of questions to discuss, I cannot just focus on one question and tell you that question in too much detail. Okay, क्योंकि अगर सिर्फ एक ही न्यूज़ करोगे या एक ही क्वेश्चन करोगे तो it would be very difficult for you to clear or cover the spotlight. Okay, so my focus is on to cover the spotlight as much as I can. Okay, in March I guess there are many questions, so uh, this much detail would not be there in the March session, but don't worry, every kind of necessary detail would be provided to you in the sessions. And also remember this fact that these are the revision sessions. Okay, so I just try to do whatever we can do in this revision session. Virendra, if you're asking about the January Spotlight revision session is sufficient or not, so let me tell you that it is not sufficient. Revision sessions are only done to make you revise what you have learned. Okay, so please cover the PDF. अच्छा, देखो शिवांगी पांडे ने बहुत अच्छे से इसको समराइज कर दिया है. नासिक, सालबोनी, देवास, मैसूर, these are the four facilities where the printing is done. Two are owned by the government of India, two are owned by the RBI. I did not understand your query. Ma'am, inaugurated type of questions will be asked in RBI. Matlab, what do you want to say? Inaugurated type of questions? If a new facility has been inaugurated, then obviously that all such questions I cover in Spotlight and in the sessions as well. I hope कि आप सबकी queries resolve हो गई होंगी. You have enjoyed the session and you will be eagerly waiting for the next session. Thank you so much, guys, for watching the session. Goodbye and prepare hard.